Welcome to another episode. Actually, this is a special episode of You Left Shit Out. Um, had a little bit of news drop at the last minute, or not at the last minute, but had a little bit of news that dropped, and I wanted to cover that since I wasn't able to come be here earlier today. For my normal slot, I decided to come on for this news. So let me get the graphic up here so we can get started here. This is going to be an interesting conversation here. Oops, wrong thing I clicked on. Excuse me, everybody. So let's go to the make sure you like this stream. Make sure you subscribe. I need to make sure I get that out of the way. Welcome to those on Rockfin. I'm looking for the graphic. Bear with me here. Okay, here it goes. This is what we're going to be discussing today. Pramila betrays Nina. That is the topic for today. But before we do that, doing a quick chat check. Everything looks good. And so with this actually before we get into the topic, make sure, like I said, make sure you like the stream. Also subscribe to the channel. I think we're up to, let's see where we're at on the subscriber count. We're doing pretty good actually. So we're up to 1. So I'll put that up here. 15 1. This, oops, 15. 15 1. There we go. All right, finally got that number right. So this is what our subscriber count is, and I just want to thank everybody for their efforts. We finally got over the 15,000, which was our target for April 1st. But we reached it maybe 8 or 9 days after the target, so that's not bad. But again, thank you for all your support in getting us to reach that number. So onward to 30,000 for the next year or even higher. So there's going to be a lot of tweets, a lot of videos I'm going to be bringing up here. We're just here, just kind of shooting the shit about this latest development in the saga of the progressive Democrats. So just to set the foundation, I'm a leftist. I'm not that much into electoral politics. If I ever vote, I'm going to be voting third party. So talking about this isn't any personal reasoning. This is simply to talk about a topic that's hot. That's hot right now. So let's get into it. Let me bring up the initial tweet. So how I first heard the news, and I'm pretty sure I was late because I haven't been online. I just recently got on to actually read stuff. And let's bring up the initial tweet that I saw that led me to even finding out that this even happened. So I saw this tweet from Crystal Ball. Where is she? So let's go here. Crystal Ball. Let me share my screen. And this is where it started for me. I'll stop that and then go back and share here. So for me, this is where it started. So I saw this and I'm like, long story short, support Nina. So I thought that Crystal Ball was just tweeting out something else about, voting for, the Democratic Party, progressives, which was odd to me because when she was on the Marianne Williamson stream for progressive candidates, she didn't seem that enthused about it. And she had a lot of critiques about the Democratic Party and the process, and she didn't even stay the whole time. So when I saw this, I was just thought this is Crystal Ball just, promoting for Nina Turner. That's what my initial reaction was. Then I look into the story more. I click on it, and I start reading it. Or I click on the initial story. Then I scroll up and I see this. So this is what the news is. And I'll go to the original one in just a second, but I'll go read David Sirota's uh, tweet here. And this was today at 8:30 a.m. So like I said, I'm late. So this is 8:38 a.m. that David Sirota sent this out. And he says, let's be clear. This is very likely Pramila Jayapal selling out the entire movement. Hang on, make sure I have that up. Selling out the entire movement because of her unbridled ambition to get a fancy but meaningless leadership title among a House Democratic caucus that will be obliterated in the midterm election. A total betrayal on every level. And that's how David Sirota describes the news of the Progressive Caucus endorsing Chantal Brown over Nina Turner. Now, for those that don't know, Nina Turner ran last year. Was it last year? 2020, not last year. Nina Turner ran in 2020 up against Chantal Brown, the corporate candidate. The candidate is backed by corporate establishment Democrats, right? She loses. Nina Turner, that is. Nina Turner loses. So this is the second time Nina Turner is running, 2022, and the reason the election is up, it's only already 2 years, and it's already time for re-election, is because Chantal Brown was just filling the seat, filling out the remaining term of the person who left the seat. Right? So now we're back again at it. And it's not a good situation right now for progressives to be running. And there's a lot of reasons why it's not good for progressives to be running right now. One of which is the current progressives elected aren't acting very progressive like, and this could be considered an example, but they aren't acting like progressives or so-called leftists, voting for the Iron Dome, abstaining, voting for Nancy Pelosi, or abstaining, allowing her to reach the speakership without any sort of demands. And calling Joe Biden, giving Joe Biden an A, like, and so on and so on. So this could be chalked up just as another item that they're betraying all of us on, or not betraying all of us, but betraying the essence, the idea of progressivism, right? So, this was tweeted out by Daniel Morans. U.S. progressives, that's the Progressive Caucus, that's their Twitter handle, are endorsing Chantal Brown's reelection. And this is just an announcement. It's like a web link. Not that much information. It's a web link showing they want to do this under the radar. That's kind of how they wanted to do this, under the radar. There's no big announcement that we're behind this, candidate. But it is what it is. So they make this announcement, this person reports on it, and then that's when it just kind of catches fire. Like this person right here responds, further proof U.S. progressives or the Progressive Caucus is a complete joke that sold out. They're full of corporate Democrats who don't have one progressive chop. They're now providing cover for one going against an extremely well-known progressive. Everyone knows Chantal Brown is trash. And it's a lot of comments like that. We're going to be reading some more of it, but you you get the picture. And the thing is, when she made, actually, this is not the tweet. I'm gonna go to actually, I'll leave this up and open up another screen here. I'm gonna bring up a tweet. I think it was either weeks or months ago. I know it's weeks ago, but possibly even months ago. That's kind of connected to this story, and it is connected to this story. So let me bring that up. Where is my tweet? No, this is it is my tweet, but I was quote tweeting somebody. I was quote tweeting, I believe, Pramila Jayapal. So let me. Okay, here it goes right here. All right, so let's share the other screen and we can continue with this here. Stop this share and let's share the other one. Not that one. Is it this one? Yeah, I think it's this one. So, in preparation for this, in my opinion, in preparation for this very moment of endorsing her, Chantal Brown came out as a co-sponsor for Medicare for All, right? And this, so let me click. Oh, I was on mine. So let me click on hers. Look, Medicare for All is now officially co-sponsored by 118 members of the House. So glad to have Chantal Brown on board as we build this movement to finally guarantee healthcare as a human right. Now, there's 118 co-sponsor. Why is she picking Chantal Brown to point out here? This is not a quote tweet. This is not Chantal Brown tweeting something out. I'm a co-sponsor. Everybody wants Medicare for All. And she's quote tweeting her saying, I'm glad you're on board. She's taking the initiative to point out Chantal Brown is doing it. Why? Just let her endorse it. Let her be a co-sponsor and not say nothing about it. I think this was foreshadowing what happened today. And I'm gonna prove it to you that I thought this back then because it's on video. I also made a video about this, and I'm gonna get to that clip in a minute, where I where I talk about how this particular tweet, where she's giving props to Chantal Brown unneeded, was either her signaling that she was going to stay out of the race and not endorse anybody, or she was going to endorse Chantal Brown. And that's exactly what she did. I mean, I'll leave it there. Let me do a chat check here. Chat check for comments. It's terrible. But let's see. I see a lot of familiar faces here. Let's see. Let's check this one out. Nina went so far center the last time. I'm surprised she wouldn't even get a nod from Pelosi. Nina should have stayed a hard case for the far left instead of trying to play the center's game. Hey, you preaching to the choir, because that's exactly what I believe should have happened. That's exactly what I believe should have happened. So you're preaching to the choir. Thank you for the comment. Wow, this is unbelievable. Jayapal is supporting Chantal Brown over Nina Turner. What a double cross. Although I now think anybody who is a Democrat is bound to be corrupted at some, or bound to be become corrupted at some point. And both can be true. This could be betrayal to the essence, to the idea of progressivism. A second here. Actually, I'll keep that comment down. But let me finish this comment. So, what about it? Although I know now, so both can be true. That the Democrats suck. You don't really have a thing in a game about Nina Turner or Chantal Brown. Like, you don't really care which one wins. But what we want to address is people calling themselves progressives and then promoting corporate candidates who are not there to get the very policy that they're even saying they want. Like Chantal Brown don't care about this. She ain't at all pushing on Medicare for all. At all. She's on there as a co-sponsor because people want it. Now, this whole thing about co-sponsorships, this is a made-up thing that politicians started to use as a way of saying, I'm doing something, I co-sponsored something. That's nothing. Because because it's being used as I co-sponsored it, that shows I'm for it. No, it does not. It shows that Politicians have thought of another way to virtue signal to the people they want to get to vote for them. That's all it shows. So let's read a couple more. Thank you for that. 15,000. Absolutely. So let's let's get back to the tweet. Let me go back to the tweet. Now, go back to my tweet. Where's my tweet? And this is what I say to Chantal or to Pramila Jayapal doing this. Oh, look, more so-called progressives shielding for corporate Democrats. Do you think Pramila Jayapal doesn't know Chantal's support is virtue signaling? Pramila knows this is performative, yet she still gives it props. That's my critique. Do you think Pramila Jayapal doesn't know Chantal Brown is a full of shit? Like, do we really believe that? She's not some naive person who's falling for a corporate Democrat pretending to be for Medicare for all. She knows Chantal Brown is virtue signaling. Yet she's continued to doing it. You know what that's doing? Moving the Overton window to the right. Because now you're shouting out a corporate Democrat like she's progressive. I don't understand. Why isn't there a rule in order to get into the Progressive Caucus, you can't take corporate money? Why isn't that a rule for the Progressive Caucus? Because I think there's 100 and some odd people in the Progressive Caucus, and you can count how many real progressives on one hand in the entire, maybe in an entire Congress, that's Senate and House. But you got 100 of them in the Progressive Caucus, virtue signaling, knowing that people, tell me how sickening this is, how disgusting this is, that you know you're not for Medicare for all, and you're not going to do anything to fight for it, but you're going to project like you are so you can get people who are literally sick and dying, who want Medicare for all, and you're just doing it to get them to vote for you. That's essentially what Chantal Brown is doing, and that's essentially what Pramila Jayapal is saying she's okay with. She knows she's virtue signaling about this. Co-sponsorships. The fuck out of here. So let's let me see what people said. Let me see if there was any comments here. It's an election year. She joined the Progressive Caucus. Oh, wow. This person addresses exactly what I was just pointing out here. Let me make sure this is on screen here. So listen to this. It's an election year. She joined the Progressive Caucus at virtually the same time Nina said she was running for the seat again. Every damn member of the Progressive Caucus is running interference for Brown in order to block Nina Turner from winning, but the squad remains quiet. So Nina Turner, just like Cori Bush in a sense, is running, and they see what's happening, and the people who she's supposedly going to join if she's elected, the other squad members ain't saying shit about nothing. And not only that, they're shielding for corporate candidates. Just disgusting. Let me make sure I don't have anything important here. I do not. All right, so let's now go to, let me see what do I have here. I'm trying to make sure I'm not, okay, I don't want to click on the wrong one. All right, this one here. So let me bring up the next, actually, let's go to the video. So I mentioned to you a video that I did, a stream that I did, where this was part of that stream. This topic was part of that stream, and I'm gonna play a little bit of what I said at that time. So let me let this fully open, and then I'm gonna share the screen. So let's close that and share the next screen here. Where is it? This one. Okay, so I think I have it queued up at the right place. I'm pretty sure I do. So listen to what I said about the same text. I'm sorry, about the same tweet. I have it right here on the screen. Listen to what I say here about it. Actually, let me do this so I can see this better. All right. And let's play the video. Ooh, I have so many tabs open. Okay, here we go. Stop. And people say, oh, I was I was subscribed to you and now I was unfollowed. So make sure you're following us or subscribe to us. If you're not, subscribe to us if you like our content. Like this video so other people can see. Wait a minute. Thank you. So let's get back to this topic here. So this is my tweet. Here. Oh, look. More so-called progressive shielding for corporate Democrats. Do you think Pramila doesn't know Chantal's support is virtue signaling? Pramila knows this is performative, yet she still gives her props. And this is the tweet here. Now, I see this as a direct problem or as a sign that either Pramila is going to stay out of this race between Chantal and Nina, or she's going to support the corporate candidate Chantal. This tweet is giving her cover. Now, policy-wise, what they say out of their mouths, Pramila Jayapal and Nina Turner should be on the same page. So the question for me becomes, why would Pramila decide to give cover to Chantal for coming on board as a co-sponsor, knowing that this is just virtue signaling, similar to what Kamala Harris did? Why would Pramila do that? Where Chantal can go to progressives. What do you mean? I'm progressive? I think she's a chair. Pramila, the progressive chair. Look at this tweet. She sent out about me. Why would you do that? Unless you have no plans on helping Nina Turner, campaigning with Nina Turner, taking sides with Nina Turner against the corporate candidate. So this wasn't happenstance. This literally did not fall into her lap today. Oh, we as a caucus decided to go with Chantal Brown. This was decided when that tweet was sent, or this was decided before that tweet, and that was February 2nd. Let me see if I have that tweet up to make sure. That was, I don't have it up. Oh yeah, February 3rd is when I sent my tweet, and she sent that out February 2nd. So you're talking, it's February, March, April. You're talking 2 months ago. More than 2 months ago. What we're finding out today, all those tweets that she tweeted out, progressive bullshit, finding out today, not just finding out this is bullshit. We're finding out today more bullshit. She signaled to us that this was going to happen. So I'm gonna introduce another part to this discussion. So then let's talk about this whole push to vote for more progressive Democrats. This is what we have to look forward to with more progressive Democrats. Look at the example we have here. We have a progressive Democrat, the actual co-chair, I think she's either co-chair or chair of the Progressive Caucus, promoting a corporate candidate. And we're expected as voters, as progressive voters, left-leaning voters, to go, oh, let me vote for some more progressive candidates to join these other worthless, gutless, spineless people. There's two reasons why Pramila Jayapal would have done this. One, she's not really a progressive left-leaning person. She's just been virtue signaling and playing a lane. Not sure about that. Two, she's decided to play the corporate duopoly game of being a politician long term, so she's playing that game. Oh, fuck all of y'all that voted for me. Fuck all of y'all who I told I wouldn't be doing this type of behavior, who I said, you're sending me to Washington, D.C. just so I won't do this very type behavior you're doing now. And we're supposed to vote more people in, Marianne Williamson. You want us to vote more people in. And all the old left who still is sheep herding people, TYT, the Majority Report, Nomiki, Sam Cedar, still pushing people to the Democratic Party, asking us, but the progressives are going to be different. Which progressives are you talking about? Because Chantal Brown is a progressive. So which one are you talking about? Truly absurd to me. Let me see here. Actually, did I play? Yeah, a second here. Funny comment. So yeah, I just can't believe this. I'm gonna flip back to the where am I here? Okay, it's this tab. Sorry, everybody. I got mixed up on the tabs. So let's play a little more of this clip. And then I have a couple of more tweets. We're just getting started because this has developed. There's other reactions. It's more that Crystal says. So let's listen to a little more of this. But we want to elect more progressives so they can do this type of stuff. Give Joe Biden an A too. Can't, like, Medicare for All is now officially co-sponsored by 118 bullshitters. That's what that should be changed to. Medicare for All is now officially co-sponsored by 118 pieces of shit who aren't going to do nothing. Fixed it. So glad to have Rep. Chantal Brown on board as we build this. I cracked myself up. I'm gonna play that again. It's funny. Let's see. Officially co-sponsored by 118. Yeah, I'm gonna rewind it some more. Candidate Chantal. This tweet is giving her cover. Now, policy-wise, what they say out of their mouths, Pramila Jayapal and Nina Turner should be on the same page. So the question for me becomes, why would Pramila decide to give cover to Chantal for coming on board as a co-sponsor, knowing that this is just virtue signaling, similar to what Kamala Harris did? Why would Pramila do that? Where Chantal can go to progressives. What do you mean? I'm progressive? I think she's a chair. Pramila, the progressive chair. Look at this tweet. She sent out about me. Why would you do that? Unless you have no plans on helping Nina Turner, campaigning with Nina Turner, taking sides with Nina Turner against the corporate candidate. But we want to elect more progressives so they can do this type of stuff. Give Joe Biden an A too. Medicare for All is now officially co-sponsored by 118 bullshitters. That's what that should be changed to. Medicare for All is now officially co-sponsored by 118 pieces of shit who aren't gonna do nothing. Fixed it. So glad to have Rep. Chantal Brown on board as we build this movement to finally guarantee healthcare as a human right. There you go. Helped it out. Helped you out. Just terrible. Like, do you think Jayapal does not know that this is just virtue signaling? Do you really think that? Oh, let me see what she said. Did she say anything good? I didn't know this. I pulled this up not knowing this. Jen Perlman. It's easy for corporate-owned reps to co-sponsor a non-corporate bill they know will never get a floor vote. Support Nina Turner for Congress in Ohio 11 because we're tired of being gaslit. So this is fairly a good comment from Jen. Fairly a good comment. I still follow her, even though she still follows me, even though the whole thing that happened between us. Because to me, having a disagreement, having an argument doesn't mean I need to stop following you. I'm not that person. That's not how I operate. So she's saying something good here in a sense, because there's issues with Nina Turner also, but at least you're staying politically, intellectually consistent by going for Nina Turner. And that's really what it comes down to. I'm going to take that video off and bring up the next tweet. That's really what it boils down to. This is not being consistent. And this is what riles all of the left up, is that we have all these people who are projected as leftists who are consistently being inconsistent with leftist or progressive policies. And that's the sort of that is where Democrats are losing people. Because I did what stream was that? I did a stream with Nick on Monday where we went over, Joe Biden's numbers with Black and Hispanic voters, which he is losing. I just can't really. I know we say this as leftists. We they win. They don't care if they lose it. I just don't understand. Like, it clearly looks like they're trying to lose. It clearly looks like they're trying to lose. Not like they're trying. It clearly looks like they don't want to win. These parties want power, except when that power is for all three branches, because then they have to actually do something. It feels like they want to lose. That's what it feels like, because there's two things that Joe Biden can do right now. Doesn't require Congress, and he could do it, and it'd be done in a couple of days with the stroke of a pen. Eliminate student debt and give everybody emergency health care because of the pandemic. Those two things can be done right now. Doesn't require nobody but Joe Biden and his pen. So if you want votes, if you're that interested in winning, why aren't you doing winning shit? Doesn't that make sense for you to do winning shit if you want to win? This shit is simple. This shit is easy. Let me bring up the next tweet that I want to cover in this same topic here. Do I have it? Is this it? Let me see what this is. Okay, so I know where to go now. All right, so let me bring up the next tweet that we can cover in this same topic here. I'm going to take that down. Oh, here. All right, here we go. Let's go to Crystal Ball's quote tweet. She has a couple of tweets around this topic. I showed you one of them. This is another, and let me stop sharing or start sharing. You can see. So this is Crystal right here. Okay, Crystal Ball. Hope you can see that. Let's make it slightly larger. So this is Crystal Ball. She responded to David in the comments as a reply. Then she quote tweeted here. David is precisely right. No one has been more committed to fearless progressive politics than Nina Turner, and this is a real betrayal. Shameful. Same tweet. You already know about that one. But let's now read a couple of comments. Let's read a couple of comments from this. So, the silver lining is that by running as one of the Democrats in the first place, Nina Turner has already neutered all hope of making any sort of difference in Congress anyway. Democratic exit. Love the comment. Love the hashtag even more. Let me throw that comment up there. Crystal Ball, deep status quo. Thank you for that comment. Hold Bernie accountable. The ratchet effect is exactly what Pramila Jayapal is doing by endorsing, by giving props to Chantal Brown, moving the Overton window to the right. Let me get back to these tweets here. Okay, so let's read the next one. Dim progressive squabbling over scraps and crumbs in the corners of the corporate Democratic Party. Exactly the trap and abusive cycle the establishment want leftists falling into. Nothing changes until leftists actually disempower the Democratic Party and kick it out of the leftist politic space. That is absolutely right. Nothing's going to change for leftists. Even if your idea is within the Democratic Party, in order to get the Democratic Party to listen to you, you have to go away from the Democratic Party, at least for a couple of cycles. You have to literally say, while they're telling you democracy is going to die if you don't vote this election, you have to be like, okay, I'm fine with that. They literally have to see people go away from them before they're not going to change anything. Loris O'Donnell, the famous video of Loris O'Donnell saying, I'm not listening to you when he worked in the House of Congress. I'm not listening to you until you decide not to vote for me. This is the reason why Democrats consistently go after the suburban vote, because those voters aren't firmly in their corner. They go back and forth. That's why they're always trying to get them. But somebody that's always in the corner, they don't have to worry about putting out bait for you. They don't. And progressive prove it every election year when they fall for the fear mongering and go ahead and vote for them anyway. This is what it is. So let's go to, where is that? Where am I at here? Is it this one? Okay. This is all we need to know. Oh, wow. Didn't know this. Well, yesterday was my daughter's birthday, so I wasn't on, so I give myself a break. But Bernie, so let's go to Bernie's tweet first. Wow. So you have the Progressive Caucus, who are, a lot of them are Bernie's disciples, Pramila in particular. So this master-teacher relationship, it took Bernie decades to be the sheepdog that he is today. If not decades, years. Let's just go there. Let's say years These new ones, these AOCs, these Jamal Bowmans, these progressives, it's taking them literally 12 months or less to be flipped. And this is Bernie. Today, I enthusiastically endorse Nina Turner for U.S. House in Ohio's 11th Congressional District. Nina is a real leader who fights for higher wages, Medicare for all, and affordable prescription drugs. Let's send Nina to Congress. And so this is Bernie. Let's see what else he says. Nina knows the job is more than just voting the right way. It's about leadership. With Nina, we know that she won't be afraid to take on the corporate interests that are dividing up the price of gas, food, and just about everything. So obviously, let me see when he put this out. Does it show when he tweeted this out? He tweeted this out several hours later after the endorsement to Chantal Brown. Let's see what Nina says in response here. Thank you, Senator Sanders. I look forward to standing side by side with you to deliver for the people of my district and this nation. Nina Turner is in a dogfight here. Nina Turner is in a tight one here. You literally have corporate Democrats in the Progressive Caucus, who are corporate Democrats too, on one side, and then Bernie Sanders and Nina on the other. The problem, Nina, is if you kept your leftist gravitas, if you kept your leftist demeanor since you've decided to run, you would have no problem, because you would have all the leftists that have come to love you over the years who kind of shied away from you after you clearly did a corporate pivot. I don't mean in corporate money, but a clear of, I need to behave slightly different, less as a radical leftist, less in the tradition of the black radical tradition, less of that, and more of this civil corporate button up. It's just not working out for you. And this is Red Beret Lauren here. Supports Nina. So this is a fight on all fronts. We need an inside-outside approach where we are working to build community and power at the local level and running to take seats of power. The establishment thought it beat us, but healing us is coming. Our movement has to be. Okay. Let's see what he says here. It says, oh, wow. I will never, under any circumstance, donate money to a Democrat again. I learned my lesson in 2016. That's a person responding to Bernie Sanders. That person learned their lesson. I'm going to bring up another video, and we're going to come back to these tweets here. Let me see where I'm at. I'm going to bring up another video here. I think it was with Status Quo. I don't have it pre-set up, so I will have to do a search. Status Quo. Actually, let me just do this. Nina Turner. Chantal Brown. Let's just do that and see what comes up. This will be fun. Let's let me share this, but I don't want any commercials. So 1 second here. Wait for the commercials to be gone. So I'm going to bring up a video here. It's a local news coverage, and it says fact-checking Chantal Brown versus Nina Turner attack ads. So this is just an interesting part of this conversation. It's not at all the main part. So let me do that. Let me remove this, and put this up here. Okay, so this is just making the conversation a little more interesting to me. This local corporate news outlet is reporting on fact-checking Chantal Brown versus Nina Turner.
11th district congressional race in next week's primary election. The gloves are off and the mudslinging is well underway between Cuyahoga County Democratic Party Chair Chantal Brown and former Ohio State Senator Nina Turner. You have no doubt seen the attacks and TV ads from both sides. So how do you know what's true and what's not? 3 News investigator.
I'm sure a corporate-owned entity like you is going to tell us which one is true, right?
Rachel Polanski is fact-checking for us tonight.
On council, Brown voted to give more than $32 million in taxpayer contracts to a company connected to her boyfriend and family.
We rank this as partially true. I pulled Cuyahoga County Council voting records from 2017 and 2020. In both cases, Chantal Brown was one of 11 council members who unanimously voted to award a $7 million contract and a $3 million contract to the Perk Company for resurfacing roads in Greater Cleveland. In 2014, when Brown was running for council, she accepted a large campaign donation from Mark Perkins, who she was engaged to at the time. Cleveland.com reported that she said if she were elected, she would recuse herself from county contracts with ties to Mark Perkins. We rank this as partially true because Brown did not recuse herself from those contracts. However, we could not verify the $32 million amount.
She even voted.
So because you can't verify it, how does that make it partially true? That's a legitimate question. How does it make it partially true? Because you can't verify it. All right, I'm gonna go away from that ad because that wasn't the initial. So what I wanted to do is kind of revisit some of the issue. Where is it? I can't remember who was covering it. It might have been Status Quo. What? So they call Chantal Brown an establishment.
Joined now by New York Times reporter Jeremy
And then now they're calling her a progressive.
Peters and Washington Post columnist Eugene Robinson's. There's 2 of you. Thank you both very much for being here. Jeremy, you have been covering
contentious in recent times, and I think a lot of folks there are quite unsettled by it and will be glad to have it over. That said, when it's done, I don't think you're going to have, regardless of who wins, a very clear answer about which wing of the party has the momentum behind it. It's a special election, and as you well know.
So this is them. There's no wing of the party. There's no wing. There's corporate Democrats. That's it. That's it. Let me tell you what makes them a corporate Democrat, because we have to expand the meaning of corporate Democrat. Because a corporate Democrat typically is, I take money from corporations. I want to include this: a person who doesn't take corporate money, but they vote the same way that a corporate Democrat would vote. That makes you a corporate Democrat also, in my opinion. Because if money's not swaying you, then your boss who takes corporate money is swaying you. That makes you corporate, in my opinion. So let's listen to some more of this, and then I have I finally see the one. It's down here. It's the Brianna Joy Gray covers this, and I'm gonna play that next.
No, most special elections don't draw very much turnout, and neither side, the activist left flank of the party and the leadership in Washington, is going to concede that they've screwed this up, and they're throwing up their hands and waving the white flag. So I think we've got 2022 ahead of us and a lot more races like these to cover.
And Gina, I would love to get your thoughts on this, but also I am struck by how forward members of the Congressional Black Caucus have been in their comments in this race. You've got CBC Chairwoman Joyce Beatty, who said Chantal Brown would honor the rich history of the group, not be someone who fights against it while trying to make a name for themselves. Congressman Benny Thompson of Mississippi, Brown wouldn't be, quote, a single solitary.
I don't understand. Why would Nina Turner want to join a group that thinks of her like this? I don't get that. I don't get this for any of the progressives. The Democrats hate your fucking guts, but you're clamoring to join them. Let me join you. And they hate you. They hate your fucking guts, but you're still steady clamoring to join them. It's so bizarre to me. Let's listen to some more of what these quotes are. These are quotes from the team members that she could potentially have if she's elected. So let's read.
Have been in their comments in this race. You've got CBC Chairwoman Joyce Beatty, who said Chantal Brown would honor the rich history of the group, not be someone who fights against it while trying to make a name for themselves. Congressman Benny Thompson of Mississippi, Brown wouldn't be, quote, a single solitary know-it-all. Congressman Gregory Meeks of New York, she wouldn't, quote, come in and try to break up that unity. Gene.
Yeah. This is tough stuff. Look, you've got different.
I don't need to hear his take. That guy's he's a regular on Morning Joe. That should tell you. The only black person that's a regular on that show. So let me go to the other video I saw that I wanted to cover. This one, where was it? This one, I guess I have to type in Brianna Joy Gray. It was on the recommendations on the side, but now I don't see it. All right, let me type in Brianna Joy Gray and see if it comes up. And I think you can see all of this is what I'm doing, right? Yeah. This is so terrible. Did I type in Brianna? How come Brianna's not coming up here? Oh, here it goes. I'm sorry. Here it goes. It is right here. So, Brianna Joy Gray.
Dr. Fauci is a menace to society.
He hates Dr. Fauci. These political ads is, yeah. So, let me set this up. Brianna Joy Gray, Ohio voters head to the polls. Nina Turner, no new kid on the block, won't be beat. Hey, let's listen. Let's listen and see what this actually. I've never seen this video, so I don't know what's going to be said. Let's listen.
We do have a great show planned today. All-star panelists Jennifer Holdsworth-Karp and Rachel Bovard are here for Team Rising.
Author Ryan Gerdusky will discuss the eviction moratorium and broader ideas of wealth and populism. And Richard Hanania will draw some interesting parallels between the U.S.'s response to COVID and 9/11. But first, we've been following the special election in Ohio.
I must say, Ryan Grimm has not gotten any better after doing this for several months. He is still terrible. Like, he is still terrible. Like, he hasn't gotten any better at doing this. Yeah. All right. So let's how are you not this bad still? All right.
Ohio a lot on this show, and today is the day. Polls are open for Ohio's 11th congressional district race between progressive candidate Nina Turner and establishment-backed candidate Chantal Brown.
The primary has attracted the national attention of many political figures, but voter turnout will be the key factor in this race, which easily became the most expensive primary this year. Voters were able to start voting at 6:30 a.m. and will be able to cast ballots until 7:30.
Yeah, well, I was driven to come here out of a kind of a curiosity that just I could not get past because we know how much money is being poured into this race. Chantal Brown has a number of endorsements, powerful endorsements from corporate Democrats, from uh, Hillary Clinton to our our.
Listen, if Hillary Clinton is endorsing you, I'm good. I that was one I was not, or maybe I was aware of it at the time, but I just simply forgot. This is not the video I was looking for, but this is an interesting video.
Our favorite, the man who won the race for Joe Biden in South Carolina, Jim Clyburn. And in fact, some of those endorsers were present when I went to church with both candidates on Sunday. And throughout this race, what we've seen is that the people on the ground are largely torn because of the kind of aggressive, high energy nature of these commercials and the back and forth between the candidates because of the influence of all of that outside corporate money. And when I spoke to folks on the ground, I heard multiple times that people who maybe had reasons to like both candidates, one woman, was in a prayer group with Chantal Brown's grandmother, but she was a Bernie supporter in the primary, said, you know what, I'm just going to sit this out. And so I think the winner here is going to be the person who motivates folks who are otherwise put off by some of the negativity in the race to go ahead and focus on what their policy priorities are and actually turn out today or in the earlier voting periods over the course of the past week.
Okay, yeah, this is not the one. It said dark money in the title, but I was interested in finding out what that was about. Dark money. So let's do this and let's type in dark money. This is all very interesting to me. So Nina Turner calls out major competitor in race for Trump, Republican. So this is Roland Martin. I can't watch Roland Martin that much. He's not. Yeah, I can't do it. Okay, this is the one I was looking for right here. All right, so this is the one I was looking for about the dark money. Let's mute that, and we're gonna cover this part of this story.
Don't scroll away. This is urgent.
Look at this.
Donald Trump is campaigning here in Georgia.
Look at that. So let's listen to this ad.
State red. And I
the state is red.
Support to fight back. Please, will you pitch in as much as you can?
They want money from you when they don't want to give you $15 minimum wage. Oh yeah, remember this guy? He's the reason they told us you were going to get $2,000 checks, which you never got. Now he's here asking for that money back. Let's move on.
Establishment candidate Chantal Brown has defeated Nina Turner in Ohio's special election, winning 50% of the vote to Turner's 45%. Turner conceded, saying the campaign knew this would be an uphill battle. She went on to say, quote, while we didn't cross the river, we inspired thousands to dream bigger and expect more.
Turner also blasted dark money. Let's take a listen.
See, we didn't lose this race. Evil money manipulated and maligned in this election.
Former National Press Secretary for the Bernie Sanders presidential campaign and co-host of the Bad Faith podcast, Brianna Joy Gray, joins us now to discuss. Brianna, welcome to the show.
Thank you.
What influence, Nina Turner is saying that it's the dark money or it's the evil money. What influence do you think that actually had in the result of this election?
It's pretty hard to deny the influence when you look at the election results. What really put Chantal Brown over the edge, so far it seems, is an extremely high turnout in more affluent white parts of the city. A lot of us at the campaign headquarters were shocked at the results being as close as they were, but the people who were canvassing in areas that were whiter and more affluent, in fact, weren't. I didn't speak to a single person in the course of the last few days that I've been here who was Black, who wasn't at least on the fence or have an ambivalent attitude about who they were going to vote for, other than people who were actively wearing Chantal Brown merchandise, some of whom who had come from out of state to actually support the candidate because of how enthusiastic they were about the Democratic Party. Usually that was what I was told, right? They support Chantal Brown because of the Democratic Party, not because of any particular policy aspect of her policy platform or any specific thing.
Right. That's a good point. What does Chantal Brown believe in? What does she believe in? Like, you're voting for Chantal Brown. Why? For those that vote for Nina Turner, they can name a bunch of stuff. Bernie Sanders, I saw her, here. She speaks truth to power, slay drag, all that stuff they can say. What about Chantal Brown? Interesting point. Let's continue.
Thing that they had thought that she was going to fight for. I woke up in the morning, I went to CVS to get some toiletries, and I talked to the woman behind the counter, and yes, uniformly it was Nina Turner, Nina Turner, Nina Turner. However, those who were at more affluent polling locations heard people say things like, for example, if Nina Turner wins this election, I'm going to go ahead and vote for a Republican. And in fact, Ohio does have open primaries. And so what we saw was the influence of big money, specifically DMFI, pro-Israel group, that spent $2 million here in the final stretch to send circulars to communities that would be galvanized by the idea that Nina Turner wasn't a pro-Israel candidate, that Nina Turner wasn't going to look out for those particular set of interests. And I think what you saw when you see the boosted turnouts from exactly those areas, putting Chantal Brown over the edge by those 3,000 votes, that's what happened.
Brianna, there's an interesting parallel.
So essentially, what I took from what she's saying is that Nina Turner lost because the white vote in that area came out to make sure she didn't win. And that white vote was pushed or incentivized by dark money, maybe that's the case. But at any rate, just like you were hearing, BJG, you were hearing on the ground Nina Turner everywhere, just like you were. Let's not say it that way. You were hearing Nina Turner everywhere, except I'm not going to say it that way either. Let's skip to the next thing.
Maybe I'll come up with a different Carolina here, that the national press, covered the South Carolina presidential primary.
Campaign were saying that the early voting results were a real kick in the gut, right? The expectation was that because Chantal's Brown influx of money and influence came a little later in the day, that the early votes folks were hoping would come through enormously, overwhelmingly for Senator Turner, and that wasn't the case. What seems to have happened is that Chantal Brown's campaign was able to get to, again, certain demographics that are more hostile to progressive interests, getting into nursing homes, getting people to fill out early,
getting older voters, getting white voters or non people of color voters. Do we think Nina Turner could win now? Do we think she could win now? I'm not sure if she can win this race. It should. I'm not sure. But let's take a look at a poll that I put up about this particular topic. Actually, do I have it ready to go? I don't think I do. I don't know where it's at. I meant to put it up on our YouTube account too, but just was pressed for time and was not able to do it. So let me go to see it here. Where is it? Okay. All right. So here is the poll. Now let me share my screen. So the poll question is it here? Here. The poll question is this: are you surprised that Pramila Jayapal and the Progressive Caucus is supporting Chantal Brown over Nina Turner? Oops. And these are the poll results. Let's make it a slightly bigger here. Oops, that's too big. I didn't know I was doing that big. Okay, so right here. That's good enough. Are you surprised that Pramila Jayapal and the Progressive Caucus is supporting Chantal Brown over Nina Turner? And these are the poll results. 264 votes so far. And 80%, 80.7%. No, I'm not surprised, and I'm a leftist. So 80% to 5%. That's the breakdown. 80% of leftists say, no, I'm not surprised. And then, I'm sorry, say, no, I'm not surprised. And then, 13% say they are surprised. Can I say I was surprised? Let me see. No, I was not surprised. I said that earlier. I was not surprised. And then let's take a look at some of these comments here. Unfortunately, there are no real progressives in Washington, D.C. I concur. I thought they were bad, but not this bad. So yes, now I know you're awful, Progressive Caucus. I hope that annoying little woman was worth it. So this person is surprised because it's like, you thought they were terrible. You didn't know she was this terrible. And let's go to the next one. The party, wait, we still have hope in Nina Turner? No. Not hope in the sense that she's going to go to Washington, D.C. and change the Democratic Party. Absolutely not. I don't have that type of hope. But let's look and see what people said to this. She got a good amount of likes here. The party made clear they go after anyone that challenge incumbents. Add the fact that they're openly hate Nina Turner, and I'm still mystified that she somehow believes going through the Democratic Party is less perilous to getting elected than an indie run. Right. You won't have all of these. You would have a apparatus. If you ran as a Green Party candidate, for example, like you're so well known, you have good name recognition. There isn't they don't know the Green Party. They know you. They know you. So when they go to the ballot, they'll see Nina Turner, regardless of party. They know what you represent. Let's continue. If she ran as an independent, I'd believe her. Not since her politicians speak after forced to vote, watched her speak with the same wishy-washy platitudes as others. This is what I was speaking to earlier. How she pivoted from a clear, direct sort of speech with specific type of language that wasn't sugar-coated to now she is. And it sounds like that's what you're sort of describing here. Let me continue. Which was completely alien, or so I thought, to her character. Right, that wishy-washy. It was a huge red flag. That is a great point. If you haven't had a chance to vote, please go on there and vote. We'd love to still get your vote. Still another 22 hours of voting for that poll to find out what people think about it. So that's that one. Now let's, like I said earlier, I still do have a couple of tweets that we're going to cover here. Let's make this smaller, and I'll open it in a different tab here. This one. Oh, so let's now go to. We're gonna go to Crystal Ball's second tweet, so we can go to the comments here. Actually, I wonder if Pramila tweeted out anything. Let's see if anything's on Pramila's page here to see if she tweeted anything that they're getting on her about. Actually, let me show you hers, so we can show you all the virtue signaling on her account. I went there and I'm looking. I'm like, what the fuck? She's saying all this kind of virtue signaling thing, so doing nothing about any of this. So Pramila Jayapal, she's tweeting about Oklahoma. Oklahoma just passed a total ban on abortion care effective August 1st. Anyone who performs an abortion will face up to 10 years in prison and a $100,000 fine. We have to end this madness. Codify Roe v. Wade now. Now, so the midterms are coming up. Okay? All the politicians are out putting out all their virtue signaling bait for different areas. So it's not just healthcare she's virtue signaling about. She's virtue signaling about the LGBTQ community. She's virtue signaling about, the military. Everything they're going to virtue signal about when it's time for midterm season. And that's essentially what this is. Codify Roe v. Wade now. What the fuck does that mean? It's in the hands of the Supreme Court, and they're going to overturn that. So why are you tweeting this out? Just to signal to people I'm for this right, even though I'm not going to do anything for it. I'm for it, and that therefore you should vote for me. Same thing with healthcare. Let's read the next one from her. LGBTQ plus rights are human rights, period. This is literally look at the Humanist Report. Mike F from the Humanist Report. Look what he put in response to her saying this here. He put Nina Turner. Wow. Let's see what let's read some of these comments. Let's see if they kind of go in at her on here. Okay, so I need to turn this light up. All right, there we go. So she says this, and Mike is gay too, so maybe that's why he replied on that particular tweet and not some of the other ones. What? Somebody put nope, it's a choice. People still believe that. I don't understand. How's that still a belief? How are you still believing that? Okay, so let's go back. So Mike puts this out. Basically, vote for Nina. I like candidates who are actually progressive. How are they all tweeting about the same shit on the same day? What the? So she Nina Turner tweets about LGBTQIA plus rights are under attack. We must fight back. I'll take that fight to Congress. The answer is yes. And then he puts the David Sirota tweet about her. So it sounds like people are interjecting about what she's did in her latest tweet here. But let's continue. Like each tweet, it says virtue signal. Look at it. When more than 7 in 10 Americans agree that about something, we should listen. Ban members of Congress from trading stocks. Tweeting Congress people tweeting out about things that should be done. Think about that. Congress members are tweeting out what should be done when Congress are the people who does the stuff that should be done to things like this. Here's another one. Abolish the filibuster. It's literally like each tweet is like, these are like campaign ads. That's what she's tweeting about. The women's health. So let's go through. So here we got abortion rights. She's tweeted out. Here we got LGBTQIA rights. She's tweeting out about. Here we got banning stock corruption. She's touching on every single topic. Here we got the filibuster. Don't blame Democrats. You got some fucking gall. Abolish the filibuster and deliver this. Who would abolish the filibuster? You talking about Chuck Schumer? The other Democrat? Who exactly are you talking to? Just ridiculous, man. These people that virtue signal doing nothing. Let's do a chat check. I'm gonna get out of here pretty soon. Let's do a chat check before I get out of here. No, ban them for trading stakes. Oh, says should be done, but they don't do them. Then we have what's your third party plan? I'm not sure if you're asking me or somebody in the. I don't have a third party plan. I just vote Green Party. I don't have a third party plan. Again, this electoral politics things, I'm not really in to it. And yeah, I'm not really into this electoral politics thing. So Nina doesn't want to run third party. She's the same as the next. Okay, so it looks like Oliver was asking about that. What is your third party plan? Okay, and then that's when I was at. Okay. Hit the like button. Absolutely. Let's do this one. Given that Brown is the incumbent, it would probably benefit Nina to differentiate herself by going more to the left, hoping that she'd appeal to the Progressive Caucus was a bet that didn't play out. I know she was mad after that shit. I know when she heard that shit, she had a whole bunch of profanity laced. This another lesser of two evil race. I don't think it's lesser. I think they're both. I mean, if you're both going to the Democratic Party, that's evil and evil. Wow. I don't know what that is. I am reading some of these. Yes, I think if you're asking about the clip from last year, that was a clip from the last year because it was about the first election between these two candidates that we're talking about, Chantal Brown and Nina Turner. Why is Bree still a co-host when has the guy from he's still on there. Ryan Grimm is still on there. Is that what you're asking about? Can't remember. If that's who was on there. Don't know if Stacy is running. Okay, so I think we're caught up on the comments. Thank you for that. And let's go ahead and go back to what did I have up here? Hang on a second, everybody. Okay, it's this one. Okay, so let's go back and go to the next one. Abortion is healthcare. End of story. Student debt is a cross-generational crisis. So now she got student debt. She's hitting all the topics. Confirm judge. Get the fuck out of here. Let's see. Borrowers need permanent relief of student debt, and they need it right now. Nearly 1/3 of all Americans skip Medicare due to high costs. This is unacceptable. We need Medicare for all now. So those that support her, see, she supports us. She supports it. That's why I'm supporting it. Really? When did they force the hand for Medicare for all? Like, what are we doing to get it? Just saying we're for it? That's what I would like people who support these candidates. What are they doing to get it? What? Text tweeting out something? Just ridiculous. Let's get to the next tweet. Like I said, I do have a bunch of tweets for this particular one. So let me get to the next one on this topic here. Actually, let's leave this up here. I'm gonna leave this up, and because I haven't checked it in a couple of hours, so I'm curious just to see if there has been any new information that has dropped. So I'll type in Pramila and Nina Turner. Type in that. See if there's any. Okay, so there is, which I checked status quo because they have a pretty good relationship, and I checked status quo before I went on air to see if they had any sort of news or any comment, because I was curious to find out from him. So here's Jordan from status quo. FYI, hold on a second. Let me make sure I have that on the screen. Yes, so this is Jordan. So FYI, after the nearly 100-member Progressive Caucus absurdly endorsed Chantal Brown over Nina Turner, I've seen nothing tweeted from AOC, Ro Khanna, Ilhan Omar, Pramila Jayapal, Ayanna Pressley, or Rashida Tlaib home with COVID expressing support for Nina Turner campaign. And Rob Durden, it's almost like the lefties who've been screaming for a year and a half not to trust these frauds were right about everything the whole time. Absolutely. So I'm not even gonna say it. So actually I am. So the people who are progressives who are currently elected, they aren't running to the mic. They aren't running to their phones to tweet support about Nina Turner. But they're progressive leftists. So that's Jordan. So let's see here. Let's see who has commented on Jordan. Anyone that I know. Honey Bear says, fucking ridiculous. Nina is for the people, so literally only Bernie is supporting her. So let's toss a congressperson who's doing shit. This person believes Chantal Brown is doing shit. Is that what they're saying? Or maybe it's Pramila Jayapal. I don't know. Let's continue. Looking for somebody. I saw this person earlier. But yeah, it's our fault for not supporting her. Oh, Bernie tweeted out for a person who said, "Where's Bernie?" Okay, here goes BJG. Let's see what she's not responding to anything, but it looks like she's calling some people out here. So let's see who she's calling out. It says is this on the screen? I want to make sure. It says in last year's special election, Progressive Caucus members supporting Turner included Ted Lieu, Ro Khanna, Katie Porter, Rashida Tlaib, Ilhan Omar, Cori Bush, AOC, Rep Brown, Mondaire Jones, Pramila Jayapal, and Mark Pocan. Any bets on which one of these are going to endorse her? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. That's 11. Have the Democratic establishment put the clamp down on and say, hey, you better not fucking endorse her? We'll see. Hillary and Clyburn supported Brown, among others. And let's click this here. Brown has trailed behind Turner, but still raised over $2.1 million. 1.4 million of which came between April and mid-July. However, Brown came under fire for some of her donors. She received over $536,000 from Pro-Israel America PAC and $5,800 from Robert Kraft, the owner of the New England Patriots and longtime friend of Donald Trump. Former Cuyahoga County GOP co-chair Roger Steiningberg gave $1,000 to Brown's campaign, although Seidenberg has identified himself as a former Republican and spoke out against Trump. So let's revisit this. Let's talk about this. Brown had trailed behind Turner, but still raised over 2.2 million. So she had She had 700,000 up until April. And then April, May, June, and July, 4 months, the last 4 months, she raised another 1.4 million. She received 536,000 from the pro-Israel group. And that pro-Israel group went into those white communities in this district and made that and used their money to influence the election. But here's the thing, there was a lot of influences going on. And like I said at the time, Nina Turner, almost any candidate can overcome big money or dark money. But you can't overcome dark money by pivoting away from your most staunch, most excited, most animated potential voters or potential supporters in what is known as the far left, us. So if Nina Turner hadn't pivoted away from that, just the leftist style speak she had before she decided to run, she would have gotten elected, in my opinion, regardless of the pro-Israel money. But that's essentially what happened. They saw that Nina Turner was going to win. The Democrats hate her fucking guts because of the whole, Bernie Sanders. They hate her fucking guts, right? And they don't want her by any means necessary to reach the Capitol Hill. So that's that. But let me just address this here. She received, to me, Nina Turner is going to Washington, D.C. to listen to Nancy Pelosi, makes this a wash to me. Yeah, she got this money from a pro-Israel group, and that's probably got her over the hump. But Nina Turner would simply get elected and go listen to the same person that Chantal Brown would listen to. Like, what does that do? So there's a big fight over this seat just so whoever wins can go listen to Nancy Pelosi. Does that make sense? There's a big fight over this seat. And we even got some leftists who are going to come out who say, oh, I would never vote for a Democrat. I would never support. But because of what's happening to Nina Turner, they're willing to come out for this one last time. Like I said, if Nina Turner kept her same appeal to the far left, and I'm using the word far left in this Overton, in this America, we're just the left. It's not far left. We're just the left. We're not even, if we're talking about worldwide, we're not even far left. If you're considering, the global South and you're considering all these other places, you might consider the American left to be a center left. If you're comparing it on there, but in our United States, we're considered the radical left, but we are the ones that will go out and campaign. We're the ones that will go out and donate every month. And that's who she lost. That's who she lost in this pivot. That would have made a difference to get her elected. Hold on a second here. And somebody in the chat. Let me see if I need to get them out. Yeah. There's an agitator in there. You treat agitators like you always treat agitators. If you pay no attention to them, they'll go away. Brianna still expects AOC to do something too. Maybe she's still holding out hope. I'm certainly not. If you want to vote. I've had enough. If you want to vote, don't vote for Democrats. Vote for a Green Party. Vote for a third party. Don't vote for a Republican or Democrat. Jordan expects AOC to do something. Yeah, that I think he was just pointing out. I don't think even Jordan expects like those people listed there to really do anything. I think he's just making the point, and similar to how BJG made the point that listen, these are the people that supported her last time. So what the hell is going on this time? It's the same race, same district, same person she's running against. So where are you at? You've seen this endorsement from the Progressive Caucus. You've seen it. So where are you? I think that was the point. Creative experiments. How was she betrayed? She's betrayed because she is a progressive. Now, all the things I have to say about Nina Turner, all the critiques I have to say about Nina Turner, she's a lot better than Chantal Brown. She's even a lot better than AOC, than Ilhan Omar. I will put her like on the same wavelength, or maybe slightly above Cori Bush. But the betrayal is in that Chantal Brown is not a progressive, but the Progressive Caucus is endorsing her. That's the betrayal. Did I lose that? Did I close it? I did not. Hillary, I think is this one. Okay, so yeah. Let me now take this off. Go to the next comment. Why is Nina so thirsty to serve again? Is she still in the running for her congressional pension? That's a good question. Why is she so thirsty again? It could be a personal thing. She didn't like what happened. She was so close, and she knows that now being it was that close that I'm gonna do this particular thing different. I'm gonna go into those white areas and campaign more. Whatever the case may be. Yeah. Sorry to disappoint you, Nita. Okay, so no sex ed, no birth control, no abortion, no support for babies after birth. Women forced to be birthing vessels against their will is so much better. Right. This is why I say the whole pro-life movement should be changed from pro-life to pro-birth. Because pro-life means once that person, you're for the life of a person from the beginning. So that means you would be for universal pre-K. You'll be for free state colleges. You'll be for a $25 minimum wage so people can feed their kids and teach them the right way. Like if you were pro-life, you're pro all of life. But you're not. You're just pro-birth. And that's the name I give them. They're pro-birth. I'm just reading some of these comments. There's a troll in there, and everybody knows they're all calling them out. What life is a troll. I let trolls do what they do unless they're being offensive. I let trolls do what they do. He's here to stir up conversation. If you ignore him, he or she will probably go away. So that's what I would suggest, just to ignore them. Don't respond to anything. I'm not going to put them up on the screen for anything, and they'll go away. That's literally what will happen. So that's my suggestion. So let's, oops. I don't know how I got pop-up screen still. Let's go down here. Just curious to see if there's anybody else I know that commented here. And quotes is where I want to go. Said 5, but only 1 showed up. Anyway, let's now go to back here. Okay, so that was wow, is this Geo? Oh wow, I haven't seen this person in a long time. Okay. Absurd. Anything to say, and then she tags them. Let me see if there's anybody else that I know. I thought that was unapologetic that I knew. It was not. Okay, so that's enough going through that. Now let's check the other tweets possibly on this topic. Let's refresh. I'm really just I should have put latest, but I can click that once it refreshed here. So here's still the top, but let's see what the latest comments is on this. Oh wow. Somebody, oh, it's my shit. I'm gonna retweet it. Okay. So I'll retweet that since it popped up. There's Lauren. Thank you, Lauren. Okay. And then our thing. So here we go. Why is the Congressional Progressive Caucus not endorsing Nina? You're losing me, Pramila. So this person is a progressive or a person who would vote for the Democratic Party, obviously a progressive thinker. Let's just see. Yeah, this is completely red blue game all over his page. So yeah, that's definitely a Democratic voter. But look, you're losing him. Why is the Congressional Progressive Caucus not endorsing Nina Turner? You're losing me, Pramila. Tells you directly you're losing him or her. Let's see what that was. Okay, so here's another one. Here. Let's get this straight. You're backing Chantal Brown over Nina Turner. You're fucked up, Pramila. Why vote in these midterms as you promote centrism under the name of progressivism, of progressiveness and corporate venality over the party you used to represent? That's all change. You're rotten. You're rotted. So this person is responding to, oh, wow. She didn't even tweet about it. Let me get this straight. Working families have to budget an extra $5,200 this year, but corporate profits surge so much. That's all they know how to do is virtue signal. That's all they know how to do. Just more virtue signaling. Okay, so I think that might be all unless there's another video. I got to do these checks because like I said, this is just happened. Okay, so Joe. Oh, this is Tim Black. Let's see what Tim Black says here. Joe Biden 100-day progressive report card. Tim Black from AOC to Pramila Jayapal to Nina Turner. Progressives are being asked how Joe Biden is doing. Tim Black connects. Okay. That's not what I'm looking for. Another bad decision from Pramila Jayapal. Wow. Okay, here goes a video. Let's go to this one here. Shit. It's not what I meant to do. So it looks like what is that show called? Is it The Rational National? Yeah, The Rational National. Actually, let's do it from here. It looks like The Rational National has covered this. So let's go to YouTube and see what he's saying here about this particular item. Okay. So weird. Let's type in Pramila Jayapal and Nina Turner. Oh, wow. Okay, so the Vanguard also has something out. We're going to cover that one. Let me change this filter to upload date so I can get all the new stuff here. Okay, so let's now, I could have sworn Maybe it's not coming up. I'll go there. Yeah, let's just do that. Let me just go to national. I think that was rational national. Shit. Is it not here? Am I tripping? I didn't just see that. Okay, it is here. Okay, it is here. Okay. All right. So
hey everybody, you asked.
We're gonna check out the
with menu items that are new for 20.
We check out the Rational Nationals' take on this. Oh, they also use the word betray. I did not. Let's see what he says about it. Full disclosure, everybody knows I'm not the biggest fan of his politics.
Do I have one hell of a story for you? The Congressional Progressive Caucus has decided to back a big oil, big pharma, Fox News, Wall Street Democrat over progressive Nina Turner. Now, as despicable as this is, it's not at all surprising, and I'll tell you why. And I'll also get into why Chantal Brown is so terrible and why Nina Turner, of course, is the obvious choice in this upcoming primary on May 3rd in Ohio. So first here, before I get to the main story, just quickly, I want to show you that Bernie Sanders made the right choice, of course, saying Nina is a real leader who fights. Sanders endorses Turner for Congress. So again, just to be clear, Nina Turner is the challenger here. Chantal Brown is a sitting Democrat. Bernie Sanders backing Nina, saying, with Nina, we know that she will not be afraid to take on the corporate interests that are driving up the price of gas, food, and just about everything else, said the Vermont senator. Of Caucus PAC.
Okay, so
now, let's get to
this is the page. So he actually goes to the website that I told you earlier. I wasn't going to go to because there's really no information, but this is the page.
Progressive Caucus,
and it lists her down here.
They have decided to back Chantal Brown. Now, this, of course, is the caucus that is led by Pramila Jayapal, Mark Pocan, Jamie Raskin. And this, of course, is a horrible choice, but it's not at all surprising because Chantal Brown is a part of this caucus. She's a part of the so-called Progressive Caucus. A candidate, I'll get to more on this later, but a candidate that took Republican money is a member of the Democratic Progressive Caucus, which she joined a month after joining the business-friendly New Dem coalition. Chantal Brown is a member of both.
How is that
And just
possible?
to make sure, I looked this up. This is the Progressive Caucus page, Chantal Brown. Here is the New Dem coalition page, Chantal Brown. Two groups that are diametrically opposed to each other. Chantal Brown is a member of both. Can you guess which side she actually fights for? Well, of course, the money she takes, as I'll get to, tells you. But this, so she joined. This.
So he makes a good point. So give credit where credit's due. He does make a good point here that I didn't make, which was she's a part of both caucuses. No person with progressive values would join the corporate caucus. No person would do that. No leftist, no progressive or leftist would do that. So either she's pretending, you get what I'm saying? Like, if you're a member of both and they're opposites, one of them you have to be pretending, and the other one is actually you. There's no reason to be actually a progressive or leftist and then pretend to be corporate. There's no reason to do that. Nobody is saying, I want to vote for a corporate candidate. But there is a reason to be corporate and to act like you're progressive, because that's the end thing that all the peasants are into. Which to me makes it worse. Why what Pramila Jayapal doing this makes this worse, or the Progressive Caucus doing this makes it worse. Now, the reason I keep saying Pramila, because Pramila is the chair. You're the chair. So you knew, if anybody knew this was coming down, you knew this was coming down. So when they made that announcement, you should have been out tweeting, I'm for just like Bernie Sanders. What infuriates me about the Progressive Caucus, it's not intellectually or politically consistent. None of the so-called progressives, the squads, you're not consistently progressive. You're so inconsistent with your voting. You're so inconsistent in where you stand, who you support. And that's the point. All right. I know I have neglected the chat for a while. So chat check real quick. Dole is trying to make Democrats fun to root for again. Nina Turner, I'm trying to think if there's an Nina Turner quite possibly could be the only candidate. I'm not going to say that. All right. So let's continue. So David Nato, that's his nickname. Force a vote was weak sauce and the establishment went haywire. Unreal. So, I already put that one up. Let's go to the next one. Definitely distance yourself from Dole. That's why force a vote was such a good idea, David. It would have made it harder for pseudo progressives to hide out in. This is such a fucking great point that I did not think of. This is a great point. That's why force to vote was such a good idea. It would have made it harder for pseudo progressives to hide out in caucus pretending that they were for Medicare for all. And you know what? Have we ever, maybe somebody put this forward. Have we ever thought the reason, has anybody ever articulated or discussed at any length, the reason the squad wasn't for force to vote is that it would have shown that they're not really for Medicare for all. I'm not saying all of them, but it would have showed that all of the squad, the so-called squad, is not for Medicare for all. Maybe that's why they didn't force her hand on it. If somebody brought that point up, kudos to you, because I just thought of that. Yeah, so let's listen to some more of Mr. Dole.
This is Politics 101. Chantal Brown joined the Progressive Caucus a day before, this is on January 25th, a day before Nina Turner announced her run against Chantal Brown this year. So Nina announced on the 26th. Chantal Brown, of course, got word of that, joined on the 25th.
So Chantal Brown joins the Progressive Caucus on January 25th. Do you know not a week later, Pramila Jayapal is tweeting about her being a co-sponsor? That's fishy to me. You mean a week later, Chantal Brown, this corporate candidate, proved to you that she's progressive? And why does it, if there's two progressives running, why does the Progressive Caucus have to endorse the sitting incumbent if both of them are progressive? Let's continue here with David.
It is just, this was done purely as a way to undermine her re-election or her rematch with Nina Turner in this primary. Absolutely disgusting. Now, to be clear here, there apparently there's no barriers to anybody joining these caucuses. So,
and that's what I mentioned earlier. Like, there has to be. Like, if anyone can join, what's the purpose of having a caucus? What's the purpose of labeling this caucus something if anyone can join, even if they don't believe in the thing that is labeled? At minimum, the Progressive Caucus should have, you can't be a part of the caucus if you take corporate money. That's the minimum threshold. The very minimum should be that.
it's not like, this is my understanding of it, as I believe AOC has complained about this, that anybody can join the Progressive Caucus. Like, more than half the members of the caucus aren't actually progressive. They just want that label. So if they have any challenges from the left, they can fight them in some way and say, hey, I'm a part of the Progressive Caucus. I believe in these things that I'll never actually fight for, but I'll say I believe in them just to win this election. And that's ultimately the vast majority of members, I would say, or at least a majority of members in the caucus. It's done purely for political reasons. They don't act.
So David is an astute critique here. The problem is he doesn't apply it to the progressive Democrats. Also, that's the problem.
Election. And that's ultimately the vast majority of members, I would say, or at least a majority of members in the caucus. It's done purely for political reasons. They don't actually care about these issues. And Chantal Brown is the perfect example of that, being a member of both. Now,
commercial.
Now, just to be clear here, just because the Progressive Caucus has endorsed Chantal Brown does not mean that the squad is endorsing Chantal Brown. It doesn't mean.
So I didn't know he was going to be coming out here preemptively defending the squad. Is that what he's about to do? He's about to preemptively defend the squad. Let's see. That's what he does here.
Doesn't mean every member of the caucus is endorsing Chantal Brown. So they have voiced their frustration with the Progressive Caucus before, namely during the fight over the infrastructure bill, how eventually the leadership of the caucus caved to support the infrastructure bill before there was ever a vote on Build Back Better. So of course, there's many videos on that back then. You can go watch that if you want to recap on what happened there. But
did they really cave if most of them are corporate Democrats? You see the fucking game? Progressive caves. They didn't cave. Or they did cave, but most of them are not progressives. So you have a bunch of corporate Democrats in the Progressive Caucus who just agreed to do the same thing. Who agreed to go along with the plan of voting for one bill and not the other. But we think there's progressives and leftists in Congress fighting for us. We have people like Pramila Jayapal who does stuff like this. We have people like AOC who votes for an Iron Dome. We have people who abstain from voting Nancy Pelosi, which allows her to be a speaker. Like, people who support the squad. How are you not disappointed every single day? Like, I would be disappointed every single day in these people.
But since then, I mean, there's been talks of a breakaway caucus from those actual progressive members wanting to break away from this fake progressive caucus. So, will anything actually happen here? It's hard to say. But regardless, they do vote their own way. So when it came to that infrastructure vote, for example, you had the Justice.
Okay, I think I'm done with David. Let me see if there's. Is this it? Oh no, that was the one. That was the one I just saw. So let me see if there's another one. Maybe I have to go directly to because that video didn't come up until I went to his channel. So let me go directly to Status Quo and see if they have any updates on Nina before I take off here. I don't see anything. I think the Vanguard may have had something here. Yeah, the Vanguard. Is that here? That's the full one. Let's go to their page and see if they have a clip up. Maybe they have a clip. Yeah, clip right here. So let's check out the Vanguard's take.
Let me tell you about my
on
nose.
this commercials. They never want to sell you something every fucking second of the day. Every second of the day. Okay, I just want to make sure there's no videos. Okay, so let's go here.
As I noted, is on a day-by-day basis, further and further diluting any.
Okay, let's go.
One of the big things that a lot of people have been talking about is this news concerning the Progressive Caucus, which, as I noted, is on a day-by-day basis, further and further diluting any meaning left in the word progressive. I mean, at this point, what does the progressive movement even refer to if the Progressive Caucus is endorsing none other than Chantal Brown, who, if you aren't familiar with, is Nina Turner's opponent for Congress. And if you guys have been watching the Vanguard for a while, you might know the fact that Zach and I have been, let's just say, disappointed in Nina Turner as of late. We think she's been a little bit underwhelming as far as her message goes,
Gavin, and that's because it's our definition of progressivism. People listening in the audience saw care for all, right? And what did we call that?
A total betrayal.
Okay, now we're getting into the tweet here.
Is a bit cringe.
This show virtue signaling, shoddy leftism.
Very well said, Zach. Very well said. Absolutely. And as you guys can see here, David Sirota, who, I've dunked on my fair share. I think that every once in a while the guy is a bit cringe. But that being said, usually when it comes down to it, when it comes to the substance of things, like 9 out of 10 times, the guy's pretty on point. So, of course,
as long as no celebrities are in the room.
Yeah, exactly. But again, I'm happy to give credit where it's due. And more often than not, I am giving it to David Sirota, someone that's, predictably, consistently pretty based, pretty on point when it comes to the substance of these matters. And as he says here, let's be clear, this is very likely Pramila Jayapal, who, by the way, is the chair of the Progressive Caucus. This is very likely Pramila Jayapal selling out the entire movement because of her unbridled ambitions to get a fancy but meaningless leadership title among a House Dim caucus that will be obliterated in the midterm elections. A total betrayal on every level. So that's pretty damning. And again, Sirota was in the Bernie campaign, and Jayapal was a supporter of the Bernie campaign as well. So you would think that Sirota and Jayapal probably have at least some level of friendship. They probably have some experience together and are fond of one another. I think it's a pretty big deal for David Sirota to be coming out here and in no uncertain terms, not only calling this a betrayal on every level of the progressive movement, but also basically implying that Jayapal is only interested in her own career. In fact, he's not even implying that. He's basically just straight up saying that she's a careerist Democrat that cares more about.
He touches upon the point that I also make. I also made earlier, is that the squad essentially have all kind of collectively said, "Hey, I got here. I initially got here. I wanted to be an agitator. I wanted to make things happen. Got here. I realized I hit a brick wall, and now I'm just going to make this a lifelong career. I'll just be here working, trying to get these same things in their mind. I'm still here, and I'm still trying to push and get all of these things, but I'm going to do it over a 30-year span, a 30-year career. Like my mentor, Mama Bear, Nancy Pelosi. Let's continue.
Ascending the leadership ladder than she is about the progressive movement or about helping, supporting, or endorsing any progressive candidates, such as Nina Turner, who, again, I have my issues with. I think that she's let down the movement in some serious ways, and I hardly, think sending her to Congress is going to result in the kind of change that we really need. That being said, as you said, Zach, if I lived in her district in Ohio, I certainly would show up to vote for her. And I encourage anyone listening to do the same. And again, if the Progressive Caucus doesn't endorse people like Nina Turner, if it doesn't support, Bernie Sanders endorsed progressives running on policies like Medicare for all, like Nina Turner, then why the fuck does it exist? It's just crazy that it's come to this point. And again, a lot of people thought it was a good thing when Jayapal became chair of the Progressive Caucus. This was kind of heralded by certain folks as a potential return to form for this caucus. Maybe now it'll have some serious sway. As we've seen over the last year or two, that has simply not come to fruition. And now it's just straight up acting as an asset of the Democrat establishment.
That is a great point.
Chantal Brown, who's much more.
That is a great point. And that's exactly what they're doing. They're just acting as a shield for the Democratic establishment. And that's it. That's it. Let's try one last one. Is it the Humanist? Actually, I might actually try San Cedar Majority Report, actually, too. If you have anything on this. Oh, wow. This is here, too. Now, we saw his tweet.
Here's to the ones who were.
Now, of all the people who I would categorize in the old left, Mike is the most palatable to me, meaning I can watch his videos and not cringe as much as the other ones. So I can watch his videos. Let's see.
So previously on the show, I've outlined the issues that I have with the Congressional Progressive Caucus. I think it's largely a caucus in Congress that isn't very progressive. I mean, certainly all of the most progressive members of Congress are part of the CPC. The problem.
So I find it interesting. The reason I'm going to David Doe Humanist Report, because these are the people who are still invested in the Democratic Party. So people like Nina Turner, these are their lions. These are the people they're ready to go to war with. Nina Turner's like one of those people. So it's curious to me to see people who are involved in this and invested in this process, the electoral process. What do they think about what's happening? So yeah, because it's going to be all over their media. Like tomorrow, you can expect all of them to start touching upon this, from Majority Report to Emma to Nomiki to Benjamin Dixon. All of them will be talking about this in the next couple of days or so.
Problem is that this is usually an organization that launders the reputation of corporate Democrats, and a lot of corporate Democrats who aren't actually progressive will join the Congressional Progressive Caucus, so that way they get shielded from some sort of insurgent leftist primary challenger. And it's an issue, and what they need to do is clean house. They need to actually have more standards in the CPC to make sure that they don't bring in people who are trying to sabotage the leftist progressive agenda. Now, what they did today, really, I feel like it should be the last straw for people if they didn't already know how bad the CPC is. So they announced their slate of primary endorsements for 2022, and one of the individuals is Chantal Brown. Now, for those of you who don't know, Chantal Brown is being primaried by a leftist candidate named Nina Turner. Might have heard about her. She's a star in the progressive movement, and they endorsed Chantal Brown over Nina Turner. And the press release reads,
so you hear in his own voice, she's a star, like none of us would call her that. It's not a slight. I'm not saying it as a...
We're proud to support and endorse this group.
I'm not saying it as a... oh, forgot I can tap here and start the video. I'm not saying it as a... never mind. Let's go.
Bold, progressive leaders that are fighting for working people in their communities and across the country, said CPC PAC co-chairs Mark Pocan.
What I was going to say is you can hear in his voice the enthusiasm. He's calling Nina Turner this great, progressive. So when it comes to the old left, Nina Turner is it. They all love Nina Turner in the same way that liberals love Obama. So let's listen to what he says. The rest of what he says.
Pramila Jayapal, and Jamie Raskin. Each and every one of them is working every day to take on corporate special interests, what a joke, fight for economic and social justice, universal healthcare, climate action, and bold solutions to the urgent crises facing our country. We are thrilled to support their...
It's so crazy how politicians know exactly what to list that people want that they're not going to do. Oh, these people are for this, and this, social justice, universal health care, climate. What the fuck does climate action? Climate action could be one step of 3 billion steps. That's action, one step. It's the co-opting of like climate action. That's such a vague term. What the fuck does that mean? Because climate action means $500 billion is climate action. When $500 billion is chump change in the grand scheme of 15, 20 trillion dollars that's needed.
Their campaigns and look forward to continuing to build the progressive movement alongside them in Congress. Now, the idea of Chantal Brown taking on corporate special interests is so absurd that it's laughable because her campaign was bankrolled by special interests. And we'll get into all of that. But to give you some additional context, as Daniel Moranz of HuffPost explains, Chantal Brown joined the CPC back in January. So to a lot of people, I think it just seems logical for them to endorse one of their own members. And that's what they're going to do. They're going to protect their incumbents who are part of the CPC. They want, a huge list of numbers. And so they're going to endorse people who are part of the caucus. The problem is that they're prioritizing numbers and just their own membership over the actual policies itself. I mean, the whole point.
That's because they're not progressive, Michael. It's like, and this applies to us too, as leftists. Who's in the wrong or who looks ridiculous? AOC in the squad for not following through on things they said, or us for still supporting them? If they can do something and not follow through and you still support them, what does that mean to them? What does it mean to the Democratic Party? Just take the black community. We support the Democratic Party regardless. And what have we gotten in response to that? You ain't black. No voting rights bill, even though I'm against it, but they want it. No voting rights bill. No $15 minimum wage. Adding more funding to the police. The way politics treats people and the way your party treats you, you don't accept that from any other aspect in your life but politics, because you've been conditioned to just take crumbs from politics. Just think about it. None of the what people accept in politics, Joe Biden telling us 2,000 and now doing a bit, now acting like he only meant 1,400. That's a lie. But we're going to go and keep supporting him and retweeting his shit. What does it mean when they keep just lying and lying and lying and lying and you just keep supporting them? They don't have an incentive to do anything. AOC and the squad doesn't have an incentive to force the vote. You know why? Because when election comes around, y'all going to vote for him. You're going to vote for him. Because you're going to go, well, the other person is worse. What does that matter when neither one of them are going to do anything? So I'm going to be winding down. Let's listen a little bit more to Michael.
Point in theory of the Congressional Progressive Caucus is to promote progressive policies. But when you are endorsing corporate Democrats over people like Nina Turner, who actually supports progressive policies.
If you find exercise hard, you need one of these. All you
that's an issue. And as David Dole points out, the biggest issue here is that Chantal Brown was allowed to join the Progressive Caucus at all, as the caucus is always going to endorse sitting members. Brown joined a month after joining the business-friendly New Democrat Coalition and a day before Nina Turner announced her run. So Chantal Brown, she gets elected to Congress after getting a surge of corporate money, and she has her feet in both cookie jars. She's part of the centrist, corporate-friendly New Dem coalition, and she's also part of the Congressional Progressive Caucus.
All these names, like I noticed people who support, they're all the same. She's a corporate. They're all the same. These labels about Democrats, they're all the same.
Now, she's part of the Congressional Progressive Caucus, not because she is progressive, but because she knew that after running a contested primary against Nina Turner, there would be a high likelihood, that Nina Turner would run against her again. So how do you shield yourself from the left? Well, you join the Congressional Progressive Caucus and you pretend to be a progressive. You make sure that they don't endorse your future primary opponent. And that's exactly what Chantal Brown did. And the CPC leadership fell for it. As David Dole pointed out, she should have never been admitted to the CPC, not only because she's part of the New Dem coalition, which is corporate, but also because of all of the things that she did to get elected in the first place. I mean, let's just take a quick recap of the issues here. So Chantal Brown's first campaign was funded by a fossil fuel oligarch and right-wingers, including Trump allies. And she not only had a super PAC and still has a super PAC, but
Okay, I'll say this after.
She walked a legal fine line by publicly begging a super PAC, specifically a pro-Israeli apartheid super PAC, for campaign contributions when Nina Turner was outraising her with small dollar grassroots donations. Now, that's not even to mention the conflicts of interest and potential quid pro quos with her campaign.
Yet she got elected.
Donors, and how one consulting firm in particular, ran by her partner, helped her out after she helped them out. And all of this led to an ethics probe. And as Newsweek explained in an article from last year, in April, The Intercept reported that Brown, a Cuyahoga County council member, had voted to award millions worth of contracts to companies.
Yeah, we talked about this earlier. I think that could be enough. I'm gonna be heading out soon because Nick has a stream that he's gonna be doing. I don't think it's at 9. It might be 9:30. Oh, he has it up. So let me see. Yeah, he has it scheduled. Ukraine to get another $800 million. What the fuck? The Ukraine. Oh, so that's what he's talking about. He's coming up at 9:30 Eastern. But I'm gonna be getting out here. I've already done 2 hours. I was only supposed to do 1 hour. But this is very interesting. We'll see how this plays out. Tomorrow, you're going to see a bunch of people covering this story from, I'm sure, Breaking Points is going to have something on it. Jimmy might talk about it tonight. He's probably on now talking about it. Vanguard already said something. Who else might drop something? Or whoever else might come out. I'm sure Hardlines Media may drop something. Let's do one more chat check before we head out here. I'm going to do a chat check. Put your comments up and talk about your comments real quickly here. And I can put that up, I guess, since that's our topic. And let's go ahead and go through these comments here. Okay, so we need to shift the paradigm, vote third party, hit the streets for the rest. Proxy wars through U.S. funding weapons are making this crisis worse. Absolutely. Mike F. become a Biden bro after Biden got elected. Yeah. He still critiques Biden, but if you're still saying go vote for Democrats, essentially, I mean, it's the same thing. Let's see. Next one. Pramila is my rep. She showed her hand that she is untrustworthy by telling Bernie to concede to help the DNC steal the primary for Biden. I'll put that one up already. Let's go to the next one. The problem with these guys is that they don't understand the implications. Let's go to the next one. I'm not sure what that means, so skip that one. We definitely don't need one of those. Yeah. Dems are still word salad, nothing more. Absolutely. I think it's on his live show. Somebody asked me to see if Jimmy is saying something. I think it's on his live show, so it wouldn't be a clip up since it just happened. Did this just happen today, right? Yeah, so he wouldn't have a clip up, but I'll check. Let's see here. Let's check. Yeah, he is live, so I don't think he would be talking about. I don't think he would have a clip up that quick because it would be in this live session that he would record it, and then tomorrow it would come out. So yeah, so everybody's gonna be talking about it. So check it out. Make sure you like this stream if you haven't done so already. YouTube has really been suppressing us probably the last week or so. So your assistance in promoting our content would be greatly appreciated. So that's going to be it for me today. I'm going to be logging out. And like I said, don't forget, Nick is coming up in about 40 minutes to talk about Ukraine and some other stories. Nick and I are working on a show where we're going to be bringing up the old left and corporate media's content and going through their content to point out the propaganda. I think we're just trying to figure out a day. So that's something we're working on, a day and time to do that. Thanks. I stayed on a long time tonight. I don't get an opportunity to come on at this time a lot. That's why when I had the opportunity, I jumped on it to come on at this time because I rarely get to come on at prime time, which is this time like 4 p.m. my time, which is 7 Eastern. It's like the prime time for YouTube content creators or podcasts and live streamers. So thank you for joining me. Like this stream, subscribe to the channel. This is the update. That's how many subscribers we had before the show started. Don't know if we've gained 1 or 2 more, but I do appreciate everybody watching today. Like the stream if you haven't already, and I'm going to be signing off. Let me see if I want to put up a clip here to sign us off with. I typically try to do that. I didn't have one ready, but that doesn't mean I couldn't get one ready. Get one really quick here. Let's see here. I do one today. Oh, I did a really good one actually. So let's play this one. This is, was it yesterday? Yeah, yesterday on my show I was talking about how the 80s there was so much good content. Did I play this yesterday? Oh no, I uploaded it today, so I know I did not. All right, so let's share my other screen. This is Sister Souljah, and I talked about how in the 80s the political discussion was way better on live TV, on corporate TV. These discussions were on shows like Donahue, and I'm gonna play you a clip, Sister Souljah. If you follow me on Twitter, you've seen this a couple of times. Great clip from Sister Souljah. I'm not going to be coming back after this clip. I'm going to be signing off. So thank you for joining me for this special episode of You Left Shit Out. And let's listen to this clip as we sign off here.
Senator Bradley of the all-white United States Senate said we can't get there unless we all go there together. Sorry, none of us are where he is. That's number one. Number two, you're making a moral appeal to a country that doesn't have a moral conscience. Right. The question becomes that when white people feel serious and angry and upset about abortion, they come out in the thousands up to the millions to say, this is what we believe about abortion. Where is the white outcry against white racism that murders African people all around this entire globe? It doesn't exist. So who are these white good people? I want to meet them. I want to see them. A few is not enough.
But that might be all we can get.
No. And guess what? I don't work with all I can get. What I work with is what I have. Listen, you have to have some confidence in the power of African people amongst ourselves to establish a foundation. We have. We haven't. We have utter chaos in our cities, and you got to see that. You can have a program. I'm not saying we've built a lot of institutions, and those institutions have not been effective. The majority of millions of African youth in this country are dying mentally, dying spiritually, dying emotionally, dying academically. And you may have a program, Mr. Brown may have a program, but what we got to talk about is an American government that tracks millions of African people who don't go to your program, don't go to Brown's program. Millions of African people, not only here, but all around the world. And if we are not honest enough to say who are our friends, who are our enemies, to know what a friend is, to know what an enemy is, we will constantly be trying to get into people's parties, to shake our butts with them, to get them to like us. And that's not the question. The question is, what can we build amongst ourselves to secure ourselves from our enemies so that we will be able to survive into the future?
Mayor Kelly.
It's enough to know that if I walk out Washington,